All right. Welcome in, Nagy Nation. Kit Nagy here, bringing you some NFC South Week 18 action. We've got the New Orleans Saints going head-to-head at home against the Carolina Panthers, two teams we've seen a fair amount of, as we see Winston warming up there in the Dome. But big matchup here with huge playoff implications. This NFC South division is hugely interesting. There's a possibility that all four teams could end up at 10-7 to end up the season, and then it's a question of who gets in, who wins the tiebreakers, the head-to-heads, and all of that. So some really interesting implications in this game, and we're going to have to keep an eye on the ticker down at the bottom to see what happens in the Falcons versus the Buccaneers game, in which would also have the potential that depending on who wins, if the Falcons beat the Buccaneers, both of those teams would end up at 10-7, and of course if the Saints go on to beat Carolina Panthers in this one, both of these teams would end up at 10-7, and that would be very interesting in terms of the implications for the playoffs. So we'll take a look at that because we think that I believe three of these teams in the NFC South would be in the playoffs, and then the question is who would be the one left behind at 10-7. As we get a look at Jameis Winston's stats on the season, 28-15, so much better than his average at 2-1 there, or his older averages at 2-1 rather than 1-1. Hey, welcome in, Larry, Chris G, Lewis, 504, welcome all. So definitely interesting implications in this one. Now the snap back. Jameis Winston's got the pass scrambling in the pocket. Pressure coming when he unloads. He's got a man that just sails it over the heads of his receiver out there. I didn't catch the number on it, but just a little bit deep there. And that'll bring up a second and 10. Well, back to pass again. Dumping it over the middle. He's got his man. That's Jarvis Landry this time. And that one good for 7. Yeah, definitely a big game for New Orleans. You got that right, Lewis. It's big game playoff implications here in the NFC South. Started to talk about that at the beginning. A little pass out to Troutman there, and the big tight end is able to get the first down for New Orleans. Yeah, definitely. Interesting to see what will happen in that Falcons-Buccaneers game. We'll see if we can catch them on the ticker down below. We simmed it in advance to see, but we'll find out when the ticker goes across what the. Hopefully, we'll get live updates on the score as we go. As a little rush onto the outside from Alvin Kamara, because as I mentioned before, there is a chance that all four of these teams in the NFC South could end up at 10-7. Then it's a heads-up, tiebreaker scenario for all four teams to see which three would make it into the playoffs, because the next team in the NFC is the 8-8 Vikings, so they would be out, and it would be which of these three would make, or which three of the four would make it in. As Kamara fighting through all kinds of tackles out on the outside there. Nice little swing pass goes for a first down for these Saints. So obviously big implications in the Falcons-Buccaneers game that's going simultaneous to this one, and then also this game. If the Saints beat the Carolina Panthers in this one, they would end up at 10-7, as would the Carolina Panthers. And then same thing if the Falcons end up beating the Buccaneers, both of those teams would end at 10-7. So very interesting here in the NFC South. Back to pass for Winston. Little pass out to the outside. He's got his man. That is Thomas with the reception. And 4 yards there for him on the pickup. And yes, Baker is in there for the Carolina Panthers, so you'll see him in this one. As Winston's going to take off, and he'll pick up a number of yards, call it 2, to bring up a 3rd and 4 off of this quarterback scramble. No new actual updates with pressure coming. He's going to get sacked out on the outside as a little blitz from the safety position, or cornerback position, as Jackson gets in and is going to bring up a 4th down and stall out these New Orleans Saints just past midfield. But they're going to actually get pushed back past the 50-yard line, and they're going to have to punt from there. I love the look too, Phil. I'm 100% with you on that. So for Deshaun Watson, the update there, or what little update we have, is it looks like from everything, all the reporting, is the punt is going to go out at the 14. Nice punt there to pin them back inside of the 20. And Baker Mayfield's going to come out, and we're going to get a quick look. Remember, this is with he was not playing in our sim, so that's why he has the not so established stats on the season, because he was not with any team while we were waiting to figure out where Baker was actually going to go. And he initially played for the Lions in our sim, where he played very well. And then Baker's going to throw his first attempt out of bounds and go to 2nd and 10 here. But he was added late in the season to the Lions, and then eventually, as soon as the trade actually happened, we've now put him on the Carolina Panthers, which this is his second game that we've seen with him at the helm for the Carolina Panthers here on the channel. So back to pass out of the gun, 2nd and 10 for Baker Mayfield. Pressure coming, but he unloads out to the outside, and he's going to hit Tremble there. So they'll pick up 4 yards there on the reception. 3rd and 6 for Baker Mayfield. Emptying out the backfield, little bunch formation to the right, back to pass. Pressure coming, but he's going to work his way out to the outside, and a flag. It looks like they got a late hit on Baker based on the timing of that penalty, and that's exactly what that is. So a free first down on 3rd and 6 after they get a little frisky there, and the penalty laundry going on Cameron Jordan there, as he was a little late to make contact with Baker. 1st and 10, back to pass for Baker. He is going to unload. He's got a man, but knocked away out of his hands. Nice defensive play there. It would have been a short pickup at best because the defense was right on it. Hey, welcome in, James. We were just talking about how interesting this NFC South setup is. If your Carolina Panthers lose to these New Orleans Saints, as well as we're going to watch the Baker Mayfield over the middle, nice little connection there over the middle. That was pretty, as a big chunk yardage throw over the middle, just throwing it right on him. And Rashard Higgins, the old trustworthy companion of Baker Mayfield, in on the catch there. That's a very familiar sight for us Browns fans, as Rashard Higgins just has a way of getting open, and that chemistry between him and Baker is very well established. But anyway, so we're talking about how all 4 teams in the NFC South, depending on if the New Orleans Saints win and if the Falcons beat the Buccaneers, that game's going simultaneously, which we actually pre-simmed really quick just to have the ticker going at the bottom to see if we get those updates. Hopefully we will. But if the Falcons win and if the Saints win, then all 4 teams would end up at 10 and 7, and then it would be a question of who of the how did the tiebreakers roll out, as McCaffrey's done the dump off to McCaffrey, goes for a first down there, and now working from the 35 is Baker Mayfield. Pressure coming in, it's going to get picked. Wow, that one was just a pressure induced throw, and he's going to go all the way, no contest, as there was nobody there to contest that one, and he just went the whole length of the field, did the Honey Badger with an easy interception, and that one was all built off of the pressure on Baker Mayfield. Baker just getting pressured like crazy. Cameron Jordan coming right on him, and just an underthrown ball from the pressure, and sitting right there as the Honey Badger to take that one away. Nice heads-up play from him. Very quick reaction time to snag that one out of the air and go for 6 with nobody even close. Hey, Sean, welcome in. Go Browns. Anyway, so it'd be interesting to see which 3 of the 4, we're not sure who would end up if that's what happens with them all at 10 and 7. So we'll keep an eye on that. So we'll watch the ticker for score updates to see what happened in the other NFC South big matchup here in Week 18. And then back to the discussion on Deshaun Watson. The latest on the update is that it sounds like potentially we'll hear late this week or possibly next week, but it sounds like from the reporting that's out there that Sewell Robinson is hoping that they're going to settle, which means that the NFL would probably have to come down to where to where Deshaun Watson is comfortable, as Landry is going to, not Landry, Isaiah Thomas, or no, Thomas. I don't know what his first name is. Maybe Isaiah was the receiver on that one. McCaffrey with a carry is going to get 1 yard. They'll bring up a 3rd and 1, a little gun for Baker here. But then because I don't think Baker's going to unload deep. It's going to get picked again. Ooh, ugly start for Baker, as that one was just underthrown. And the defense right there to capitalize. And this is starting to get a little bit ugly for these Carolina Panthers, as Baker has been not good early goings of this one. Again, pressure induced as that D-line is fading, that retooled offensive line struggling, and Marcus May right there to take this one away. So quickly the safeties getting involved for the Saints as the Carolina Panthers and specifically Baker Mayfield has been struggling, in that retooled O-line allowing a lot of pressure, which has definitely, we Browns fans know, when he's pressured, he can definitely have rough patches for Baker Mayfield. Alvin Kamara up the middle, not a lot there, but he's going to gain maybe 3 yards. I'd call it 5 yards, a little more generous than I thought it was going to be. So now trips to the right, empty backfield for Winston. Pressure coming, and he's going to unload and hitting his man there. That's Alvin Kamara out of the backfield, 1st and 10. What I've been trying to say is I don't think Watson's going to accept 8 games. He might accept 4 games, maybe 6. I don't think he's going to accept 8 or more games, is my guess. I think that Sue L. Robinson from the reporting sounds like she is going to give potentially significantly less than that. And she is allowing the opportunity for the two sides to settle, because she realizes whatever she does is going to be precedent, and it's going to give the NFL a really rough time if the precedent is that a very minimal punishment, because that's what they're going to be stuck with going forward in cases like this. So because of the foreknowledge that this is going to be precedent, that she's giving that opportunity. I don't think that's going to happen unless basically what I'm trying to say is Watson's got all the leverage in this, because the NFL will have to come down to meet him, not the other way around. That may mean the settlement doesn't happen, but it also means that if that does force Sue L. Robinson's hand, then we're looking at a potential that the punishment is relatively minimal, if at all. So it could be very interesting to see how this works out. 3rd and 1 now for the Saints. 1 yard to go here, and they're definitely threatening now inside of the 9 as that first down is picked up by Kamara. As some nice. As I was busy trying to finalize the discussion there on what's going on with the Watson, or the latest in the Watson news. It's a really nice drive put together here by the Saints, working off of that interception from May. And yes, 504, very much typical for Baker when pressured. Unfortunately, that's probably the worst part of his game, is his ability to throw under pressure. 1st and goal from the 9 now. Winston, quick pass and a slant to Michael Thomas. And that one is going to pick up a number of yards. Call it 5, and they're down to the 4, 2nd and goal. Well, handoff to Alvin Kamara, quickly met by the defense, and that one is going to get swallowed, even for a loss of 2, 3rd and goal. But hopefully that answers your question in terms of what's going on in the Watson. And right now it's still purely speculation, so anybody's guess as to what it actually will be. We won't know until we know. 3rd and goal from the 6, and a sack there as Winston was unable to avoid the pressure, and that impressive D-line gets home from the Carolina Panthers. And this defense is going to hold and limit this Saints offense to only 3 points off of that turnover. And the kick is up. Kick is good. So a 10-0 ball game as we watch this one. And again, you know, some serious playoff implications here. If this scoreline holds to the end of the game with the Saints winning, that would mean both of these teams would end at 10-7. And then depending on what happens in the Buccaneers-Falcons game, we have the potential that all 4 teams in the NFC South would end up at 10-7, and then 3 of the 4 would make it into the playoffs. And the question would be, which 3? My opinion is, if it comes down to Robinson, I don't expect. I'm leaning towards, I don't think she's actually going to impose punishment, as Higgins is going to pick up a first down from Baker Mayfield there. A nice little throw out there in space. So a little bit of redemption here for Baker Mayfield, hoping to try to get some consistency after the 2 rough interceptions for him. 1st and 10. Now to the outside, he's got his man. But if it's up to Sue L. Robinson, I think there's a decent chance that there is no suspension at all, because of all the stuff kind of leading that direction. If it is a settlement between the NFL and Watson, then I would expect it's probably in the 4-ish game range, is my guess. 4, maybe 6. But yeah, if it comes down to just Sue L. Robinson because they aren't able to settle, I'm starting to think more and more that that's, you know, a good chance that there will be no suspension. A little dump off outside on the underneath work again. Rashard Higgins very active in this ball game for his quarterback, and that has been a very strong connection between those two, and it's continued here with the Carolina Panthers. 1st and 10, now under center. Little handoff, or a fake handoff up the middle. Baker Mayfield's going to unload it, dump it off to his running back. And McCaffrey is able to corral that one for 6. His 2nd reception of the ball game, 2nd and 4. Now back to pass. Pressure coming. He's going to unload and picked again. Pressure affecting him once more in his 3rd pick. And this one could go 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Saints. And this time Marshawn Lattimore from the outside in his corner position, taking that one away, jumping the route. And unfortunate for Baker, who is just really struggling with that pressure. As you see, he throws yet another pick, and another inadvisable throw, and that one wasn't as much in his face, but just not expecting Lattimore to be able to jump Anderson's route. But he does just that, and no one able to catch up with him out on the outside as he just waltzes right into the end zone. So that's going to make this a 17-0 ball game, and these Carolina Panthers are going to have to do something because they are absolutely getting shellacked here in the early goings of this one with 3 interceptions, 2 pick sixes on Baker Mayfield. And, you know, we Browns fans are all too painfully familiar with games like this from Baker. This is a real, I mean, this can happen. And when it does, 2 or 3 interceptions in a game is you know, and of course, I mean, we can all remember that Christmas game against the Packers, where by all rights we should have won that game, but for Baker Mayfield's 4 interceptions in that one. So these things happen, especially while under pressure, and that has been really a lot of what's gone on in this one. So Baker Mayfield now under center. Back to pass. And now throwing to the outside, he's got his man. And that one is going to go for a pickup of 5. And Thomas on the reception. Back to pass. Over the middle and incomplete. DJ Moore, the intended receiver there. Back to pass. Baker Mayfield. Over the middle, he's got his man. And that one is complete to Robbie Anderson for a first down. Ian Thomas. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. For some reason, Isaiah Thomas was sticking in my head, but I'm thinking that's a Browns player. All these names hard to keep straight at times, and I do try to pull up the roster and figure out the correct names, though. I'm not always as quick at that as I'd like to be. Robbie Anderson there on the reception, and that one going for a first down. And I certainly do not have the skill set. There was an Isaiah Thomas that was a basketball player, and then there is another Isaiah Thomas that has come in D-end for the Browns that was just drafted, who was named after Isaiah Thomas, the basketball player. So two Isaiah Thomases. 1st and 10, we'll hand off to McCaffrey, and he is going to find his way through some traffic in there. Nice little bounce off a would-be tackler there for Run CMC, and that will bring up a 2nd and 2. I will say I'm not nearly as good at this. I don't have the player knowledge that Phil does. He's way better at this than I am. He's like an encyclopedia of NFL players. The play-by-play is not my first skill set, but I do the best that I can. 3rd and 2. And that one complete on the dump-off to Tremble, but only good for 1 as this defense holds again. And former Brown Davis in on the tackle. Nice little flow from his linebacker position to come up with that tackle quickly. And Tremble not going to gain the first down, and so a long field goal attempt here. This one from 57. It is up and woefully short. So really good field position again for these Saints. I appreciate that, Rick. I do my very best. I know Phil is extraordinarily talented at this, so I don't measure up to that, but I do the very best that I can. And yes, that was a woefully underpowered kick there from Zane, as we're going to see a sack there on Winston. The pressure coming home for Carolina for their 2nd sack of the ball game, 2nd and 19. And yes, Shaq Thompson in on the tackle. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. 2nd and 19. Thrown to the outside. That one is corralled by Jarvis Landry, but not for very much there. His 2nd reception of the ball game. That'll bring up a 3rd and 13 for Jameis. He's going to start out of the gun, trips to the left, and Kamara on his right hip. A little 4-man rush for Carolina. He's going to work toward the center there, and he's got Michael Thomas, who's going to pick up that first down. Nice little 3rd down conversion there for these Saints. Just finding a way to get the ball out of his hands is Jameis Winston, and finding guys in space in this defense, as Carolina has yet to really tighten up that defensive zone. Just finding a way to pick it apart here so far in the early goings of this one. Yeah, I completely agree, Rick. He's so very good at this. 1st and 10. Pressure coming, and he's going to get absolutely roughhoused to the ground there as Burns was uncontested straight to his face. That was an ugly sack. It was an attempted cut block for some reason on the outside. He just dove at his feet. That was really odd. Not going to get the job done against a talent like Burns, but he gets home very quickly. And Jameis Winston is going to get absolutely smothered there on that sack. Now, 2nd and 18, pressure coming. He is going to unload. He's got his man. That's Michael Thomas again. And he is... Actually, no, they're going to say he dropped it. I thought he had that for sure, but that was dropped. 3rd and 10. Oh, no, that was making up for... I'm sorry, that was making up for the sack yardage. I forgot about the sack right prior to that. So it was a reception, his 4th, 3rd and 10. Trying to figure out how that happened, because I was like, wait a second, they showed a reception for Michael Thomas now on his 5th after that completion, but that one is not going to go for a first down, so 4th and 4 here from the 27, and all likelihood here you'd expect the Saints to go for a field goal. Yeah, Burns is very, very good. Yes, this is a very ugly start. Phil's right, a very ugly start for Carolina. But you're right, Jameis is very much vulnerable to the pick just as much as Baker is. I mean, he did have that 30 for 30 year, and that is can very much be disastrous. And sometimes it's about who throws the last interceptions, not so much the early interceptions in the ball game. But the big disadvantage in this one is that Baker has thrown 2 pick sixes in this one, so 2 defensive touchdowns. Giving away free points is difficult to overcome, certainly. I very much appreciate that, Chris G. That's very kind. Thanks. The run to the outside, run CMC. Nice little cut there as he gets down to the first down line. Just so shifty on that run for McCaffrey. And Marcus May in on that tackle. But not before the first down is achieved. That's James. I appreciate that. There are some good crews out there. Even on Fox, but there are also some really not great ones. It'll be interesting to see what happens going forward with some of the changes in the studios in terms of their broadcast teams. As a lot of that has been shifting up. A little empty backfield here for Baker, bunch formation tight to the left, back to pass. 2nd and 3 pressure coming. He's going to unload it. And he's got his man to McCaffrey, but unable to gain the first down because he was tackled right away was McCaffrey. So 3rd and 2 here. Only a pickup of 1 there, but just getting out of dangerous Baker Mayfield. Now running the ball, McCaffrey fighting for the yardage, but unable to get there. And he is going to be tackled 1 yard short with 5 minutes to go here in the half. And I've been trying to keep an eye on the ticker here, but I haven't seen the scoreline yet for the Falcons. Maybe I've missed it because I've been mostly paying attention to the game. But it's I haven't seen it yet. But very interesting to see whether or not the Falcons or Buccaneers are going to come out on top in that other NFC South game, as we've already mentioned a number of times. What is happening? Yes, that is a great line. As a punt here for Carolina, interesting choice to punt. Very near midfield, and what a terrible shank that was. Yikes. That one went hardly anywhere. And so Jameis Winston is going to get set up with yet more good field position here after a terrible punt from Carolina. Is going to go out of bounds at the 36. But yeah, so and speaking of intrigue in the broadcast booth, it'll be interesting to see, what is Tom Brady. Speaking of, what is Tom Brady's? Alvin Kamara, nice little hole there as he's going to get to the second level very quickly and pick up a first down. It'd be interesting to see what he is because, if you've ever watched any of those little golf outings they like to do, with like Peyton Manning and some of those folks, Tom Brady is not... I'm a little concerned he may not be worth what he is likely to get paid. Maybe he's much better than I think, the insight. But he doesn't seem all that interesting. Listen, a little screen set up here for Alvin Kamara, and he's going to have some room to work. And that one goes for 7. I was a little bit excited just to see a screen work for once. That was nice. A little bunch formation out to the left. We've had struggles with the screen in Madden where it has been woeful for just about every team. Very much a broken mechanic in the game of Maddens right now. So to see one actually set up and work well is a rarity these days. Back to pass now. Jameis Winston, pressure coming, but he's going to unload. He's got his man out to the outside, and Thomas is going to break a tackle and then pushed out of bounds. As that was a nice little pickup here for the Saints as Thomas was working in some space and Jameis Winston just put it right on him. Yeah, that is not a kick that you would expect from Hecker, who is honestly one of the best in the league, as he put that one shanked off the foot to the left. And it was just a terrible kick and setting up what is turning out to be a very nice drive here for the Saints. 1st and 10 now. Little pistol formation. Kamara's going to get the handoff, and he's going to go for about 3 yards before being corralled by the defense. 2nd and 7. And yeah, I agree, Phil. I think they should have gone for that also, rather than punt. They were right there at the midfield line, or near the midfield line. A nice little work through traffic for Kamara there on that little shifty run, as we're going to come up into the 2-minute warning here to the half. But yeah, I thought they should have gone for it as well, with only a 4th and 1 near the midline. And probably a good opportunity to get back into this game, but instead electing to punt and a shank at that. Back to pass now he's got a man over the middle. Touchdown, Olave! Beautiful throw, beautiful catch, and that was a quick strike right there. And what a drive that was, as the Buckeye is going to corral a nice touchdown reception right over the middle, as that was just a beautiful break on his route. You see him come clean right there, a lot of separation, trailing position is the defense, and much, much too easy. And so this seemingly ugly start is only continued here for Carolina, as the Saints are going to go up big here in the first half. Now a 27-0 ball game after that PAT. So all the momentum clearly pegged here at home for the Saints. And there's the scoreline update down there. We got Atlanta up 10-7. I just saw it. So we'll see what happens in that game. But right now, if this scoreline holds from the first half, it is very possible both of these teams will end up at 10-7. And if that happens, then the question is, what do the other two teams in the NFC South do? Because if the Falcons beat the Buccaneers, both of those teams would be at 10-7, and then we'd have three NFC South teams make it in, and it's just a question of which of the 4 gets left out of the playoffs, with all 4 of them at 10-7, should that happen. It will be a very interesting to see. Back to pass for Baker Mayfield now. Throwing over the middle, he's got his man. That's McCaffrey out of the backfield on a nice little angle route, and there finally some momentum going here for Baker Mayfield and finding Kamara in some space. And that's what they need here, is a little bit of consistency from Baker Mayfield. There's some more of it. He's got his man out to the outside, and that's Anderson again as a fumble, but I think he might have been down. Right now they're returning it along the sideline, but Robbie Anderson, I do believe, was down. We'll see. Let's get a replay here on Robbie Anderson. But I do think that ball came out really low. Yeah, he's so down. There's no way that one stands. As the Saints, I know Jameis is coming out right now, but there's no way he's going to have this ball. Where's the review? There it is. There's our review. As Robbie Anderson was down by a mile. I thought it felt really late coming out, and sure enough, look at him. He is like so down, knee, hip, shoulder, and elbow, all down when the ball finally does come out. And although that looked fun for the defense for the Saints, that one is not going to stand. There is no way that doesn't get overturned. All right, so it does get overturned. So Baker Mayfield back out on the field here out of the gun. 1st and 10, he's going to throw to the outside. He's got Rashard Higgins, who has been very productive in this ball game. Timeout quickly taken by the Panthers. And that is their first of the half. 48 seconds left on the 22-yard line. Now emptying out the backfield. Bunch formation tight to the right. He's throwing over the middle. He's got his man. And he does connect. And that was Tremble on the reception. His 5th of the ball game, 26 yards for him. 1st and 10 now, 43 ticks left out of the gun. Looked like a bit of an early start for McCaffrey, but they're not going to flag him. McCaffrey's going to get the throw and the touchdown. Final response for these Panthers, who finally find their way onto the scoreboard here, as they score a nice and much needed touchdown. As interesting, a little bit of an early start on the play for McCaffrey, but uncalled, and McCaffrey just gets into the end zone easily out there on the perimeter, as nobody was in a position to make a tackle. But yes, a huge score indeed, Phil. That one was very needed for these Panthers if they want to have a chance at all in this ball game. They've got to do They've got to build off of that touchdown scoring drive. They finally got something going. They got the review in their favor, which they needed. And I don't know if I'd be on the sideline down 20 points and dabbing as a team. That's probably not the best look right now. You got to focus on winning this ball game and not celebrating what is right now an ugly game for these Carolina Panthers. But they have put together a nice drive finally. And that is hopefully for them a start to something to come back into this ballgame. But they're going to have to find a way on defense to slow down these Saints and maybe some takeaways of their own and take advantage of the fact that Winston is also prone to the turnover bug. So that's going to have to come out here in the second half, as I expect the Saints, starting at their 19-yard line, to probably just run the ball and run out the clock. But no, they're going to throw. Interesting choice. Pressure coming. He's now going to run the ball at the legs of Jameis Winston, escaping the pocket. And he is going to gain a first down, but the clock running now, 22 seconds left in the half. And likely going to halftime here shortly. I believe the Panthers do. I believe it's the Panthers that get the ball in the second half. A little run up the middle for Kamara. That's his 11th rush, 50 yards for him. That one for 3, and that's going to take us to halftime here. So let's check in on the score for Atlanta, because that's going to be a big, big ball game with implications here in the NFC South, especially since if this scoreline holds, we'll be looking at 4 teams in the NFC South at a 10-7 record, as we've mentioned. Yes, it is Carolina. Thanks for confirming that. All right, so out of halftime here, kickoff from the Saints, it is Carolina to get the second half. So an opportunity for a double dip, and that would be absolutely huge here. That's what they're going to need. So let's see if they can carry some of that momentum off of that last drive of the half. And carry that forward here, because that is going to be much needed. Baker Mayfield's got to get back in this game. He is 20 for 27, 190 yards and a touchdown, but the glaring stat line there is his 3 picks, 2 of which were pick sixes. 1st and 10. Now a delayed handoff to McCaffrey, quickly met there by Davis, who just worked nicely down the line to scrape and find his way to tackle McCaffrey for no gain. 2nd and 10. Back to pass. Pressure coming. He's going to unload deep. He's got a man down there. Up for the ball. He's got it. Touchdown for the Panthers. Wow. That was a beautiful jump ball catch there. And Moore just absolutely skies that. As he just found a way to win this contested ball. Baker Mayfield was a little bit under with the throw after the pressure was in his face, but he airs it for almost 70 yards there, and it was just a contested ball that Moore comes away with for a beautiful touchdown, and double dip complete here as suddenly the Panthers seem like they're right back in this with 2 touchdowns quickly scored and one on an absolute bomb to Moore. And DJ Moore had been pretty quiet in this game until then, so that really his first big appearance in this ball game. So good to have him showing up in this ball game, because they've needed production from somewhere. It really was an awesome catch. I really appreciated that catch from DJ Moore. Just went up and mossed him, but the defender just had no opportunity. He actually fell down after the jump, so it was uncontested to the end zone from there. Yeah, we'll see. Jameis could be Jameis here. It's very possible. 14-27 ball game. Jameis Winston from under center. He's going to get sacked, and Burns is going to get to him very quickly. And look, excuse me, Brown in on the sack. Wrong number. That was Brown in on the sack, but Brown is just as dangerous, and he was there very quickly. And getting home for that sack, and Jameis Winston is going to be backed up right near his end zone. And Burns is 53, not 95. I was looking at the wrong number. Out of his end zone now. Pressure coming, but he's going to get rid of it. He's got a man out to the outside. That's Jarvis Landry who is going to go out of bounds there. And now a 3rd and 18 backed up near their end zone. Emptying it out is Jameis Winston. Trips to the right, back to pass. He's got pressure coming from an outside blitz, and he's going to unload, but wide open is Troutman, and that one was a bit odd. Just allowing the underneath in what looked like a bit of a prevent defense, strangely. I mean, not quite a full prevent, but really nobody underneath to cover the tight end Troutman, and you leave him alone. He's going to pick up that first down with there's nobody in to make a tackle, as they just a high shell here with an outside man and not time to react to it. As the guys on clearing routes are pulling out the man coverage out of the way of Troutman, and then the high shell not able to respond in time. So back to pass for Jameis Winston, throwing over the middle, and that's Troutman again, who is going to pick up 6 yards there, 2nd and 4. Yeah, unbelievably open. I was very surprised by how open he was there. You gotta know to protect your first down line there. Michael Thomas on the reception here, and he's going to get over midfield on that one. Jameis Winston very efficient in this. 18 of 19 now for him on the day. 1st and 10. Now scrambling out to the outside and throwing back across his body. He's got a man, and that's Olave. And he is going to pick up a first down after being knocked out of bounds. 1st and 10 now for these Saints, who are putting together a nice little drive of their own. Alvin Kamara is getting the handoff. He's got tons of room to work, and he's going to get out to near the 20-yard line, call it the 23. And that, a very nice run for him, and he's had a very productive day on the ground. James saying that Madden just turned Troutman into Ozzie Newsome. I don't know about Ozzie Newsome, but Troutman is a very good tight end, to be sure. I think he's very talented. Maybe potentially outperforming his actual skill level a bit in this one. That's possible. But I don't know that it's been quite the Ozzie Newsome level yet in this one. 1st and 10. Little tight bunch formation to the left for Jameis Winston out of the gun. Kamara on right hip. He's back to pass. Pressure is coming, but he's going to be flushed and escape and out to the line to game, and he's just going to slide out there near the 11. So he's going to pick up that first down. And the Saints are now easily in striking distance from the 11, as they are going to have an opportunity to put this one in and capitalize on what has been a very effective drive so far. Still a chance to gain a first down with about a half a foot to spare near the end zone line. We'll hand off up the middle. Kamara, who fights through a couple of tacklers. Interestingly, he had a bit of a better hole out to the right, but he decided to take the contact and fight through the tackles instead. It gained 6 in the process. Now 2nd and 4. Hand off to Kamara. He is working through the hole. He's going to get down near the line to gain, but not quite there, so he is going to be held just short, 3rd and inches here from the 1-yard line. We'll hand off to Kamara. He's going to get in easily. Nobody out there to make that tackle. A touchdown for the Saints, and that's about the worst thing for the Panthers here. A long, sustained drive for the Saints, capitalized with a touchdown at the end, and this defense seemingly unable to hold these Saints, which they really had to, especially in response to what the offense has managed to do. But with the lead that these Saints enjoy, the defense certainly needs to step up if they want to have a chance to win. So now a 2-point attempt here for the Saints in this 33-14 ball game. Back to pass. He's got a man, quickly received by Thomas, and 2-point conversion is good. So 35-14 ball game, and the 21-point lead enjoyed here by these Saints. So the kick is away. And the Panthers are going to take it out to the 19-yard line, which is where Baker Mayfield will start his next drive. And they're going to have to continue to be very productive here. Obviously, a bomb to G.J. Moore is how the last one ended, but But they need to find a way to continue drives, and the quick strikes certainly will be helpful in this one, especially if they can get their defense to figure out a way to stop the Saints. 1st and 10. Baker over the middle. He's got a man, and that is very nicely done there for Tremble, who gets a first down, and just creating a little bit of that separation and presenting those big numbers to Baker, who hits him right in stride. Yeah, that was pretty wide open again. I agree. Tyrion Matthew in on the tackle. Bunch formation to the right for Baker. Back to pass. Pressure is coming. He's going to get sacked. And the O-line woes continue for these Carolina Panthers as they seem unable to shut down the pass rush of these Saints, who have made Baker's Mayfield's life very difficult. You see, that one just broke down. Davenport getting home for the sack. And Baker Mayfield just eats it. So 2nd and 21 now for the Panthers. 7:30 here in the third quarter. Back to pass. For a 3-man rush, Baker Mayfield finally going to choose to get rid of it because he had nobody downfield. And so that'll bring up a 3rd and 21. Out of the gun. 4-man rush. Pressure coming. He's going to unload, but batted down at the line. And Davenport was right in there. But I believe it was Onyenyeta that actually batted that one down. That's who they were showing anyway. Or however he pronounces his name. Nope, it wasn't even. It was somebody else. I didn't catch it. Who actually managed to bat that down. 4th and 21. We'll bring up a punt now for Hecker. And that's a much better punt. Jarvis Landry will return that one for about 4. So Jameis Winston, to look at his day, 19 of 20, 185 yards and a touchdown, and he has been very efficient, just doing enough to keep these Saints well in the lead. As he is going to change up this formation, still trips to the right, but bringing Olave off to the left out of the gun now. Back to pass. He's got a man quickly out to the outside. Michael Thomas on the reception. Now 20 of 21 for Jameis Winston. 2nd and 6 after that 4-yard pickup. Now throwing to the outside is Jameis, and he is going to find Olave out there. But Olave picks up a few more yards. His 3rd on the ball game. So 3rd and 3 here for Jameis Winston. 6:18 and counting in the third quarter. A nice little run there from Kamara, finding some space and fighting his way well past the first down line. His 16th carry of the ball game, and he has been productive for these Saints. Shaq Thomas in on the tackle. Or Shaq Thompson, excuse me, in on the tackle. Yeah, that will be wild. If so far it's looking like we may end up in that all 4 teams at 10-7 like we thought, which would be absolute chaos. Here comes Kamara out to the outside. Nice little shoulder into a defender and breaks that tackle and continues down a little bit further till Smith finally finishes him up there. But a first down achieved here again for these Saints. Yeah, we have absolutely no idea what a tiebreaker would look like here in the NFC South, but it's certainly interesting, and obviously 3 of the teams are going to get in, so at least you've got pretty good odds of being in the playoffs. If you're in the NFC South, just one team is going to be left watching from home. So it'll be unfortunate for whichever of those teams that ends up at 10-7, but not in the playoffs. Here, Kamara to the outside, little stretch play. He is able to pick up some yardage there, and 7 yards on that carry. Brings up a 2nd and 3. Now in motion is Jarvis Landry. Back to pass for Jameis Winston. Over the middle, he is going to find Landry. And Landry picks up that first down. And so the slow but steady drives continue here for these Saints as they're just satisfied doing enough to get the job done, getting those picking up those first downs and then enjoying a nice comfortable lead here to get it done with 4:07 remaining in the third quarter. Little handoff to Kamara. He's got to find a gap to the outside. A nice little run down to the 12, or excuse me, to the 8. Other side of the 10. And that's going to bring up a first and goal here after a very nice run from Kamara, just finding some holes there in the defense and exploiting them. I would assume so, yes. Back to pass now, scrambling out to the outside. He's just going to run with it and sliding down to the 5 is Jameis Winston. Second and goal now. 3:04 remaining in the third quarter. And these Saints threatening to score again. Kamara, a little delayed handoff. Touchdown, Kamara! As he just dives for it and has nobody even able to make contact with very nice blocking up front. And that one is going to go in for 6. And extend this lead yet again. Soon to be an expected 42-14 scoreline, which seems a bit rich to try to come back for Baker Mayfield and these Panthers, as those 2 early pick sixes seem to really have done their damage in a big way in this game and carried the Saints to what is looking more like a blowout now. Yeah, Jameis Winston has been great in this ballgame. He's been incredibly efficient. He's only got 1 incompletion on the day, and now his second, or excuse me, that was a rushing touchdown. He only has the 1 touchdown thrown, but still he's been very efficient and effective, just patient in the pocket, escaping when he has to, and then finding guys underneath and continuing to keep the sticks moving. So very, very effective day for Jameis Winston. All right, see you later, James. Sorry, your Panthers were not better for you in this one. Now thrown to the outside, and Tremble on the reception, but very quickly tackled at the line, at the original line of scrimmage. So he's going to get nothing out of that one on his 7th reception of the ball game. Now out of the pistol is Baker Mayfield, trips to the left. He's going to hand off to McCaffrey, who is going to be quickly tackled. A nice little run blitz there from Davis to make that tackle his 11th. And a pickup of only 1. 3rd and 9. Delayed handoff from McCaffrey again, finding some room. He's got the first down. And that little delayed handoff works nicely. Tyrann Mathieu on the tackle for the Saints. But a nice little pickup for McCaffrey, finding some room on the delayed handoff. Yes, it should. I would imagine, Phil. I would imagine it would order them correctly. 1st and 10 now. Baker Mayfield over the middle. He's got his man. That is DJ Moore again, who is able to find his 3rd reception. He's got 103 yards on those 3 receptions, but the vast majority of it on that touchdown bomb that completed the double dip coming out of half. 1st and 10, but very quiet otherwise has been DJ Moore. That is only his 3rd reception. McCaffrey fighting his way towards the line to gain a 9-yard pickup for him. So finally, Carolina putting together a nice sustained drive here, but really you want them to score a lot quicker than this, as McCaffrey is going to find his way to the first down. You want them to score a lot quicker than this because they've got a ton of work to do here in the 4th quarter as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. They've got a lot of room to make up, and it's going to be a very tall order because not only will the offense have to strike and strike quickly, They're going to have to put a lot of those together, and the defense is going to have to put together a bunch of 3-and-outs to make that even remotely possible, or find a way to turn the ball over a whole bunch and potentially some defensive scores. Over the middle, he's got Rashard Higgins. Beautiful little strike there from Baker, with Rashard just barely having enough room, and just a tight window throw there for Baker. But Rashard Higgins, the sure-handed receiver and favorite target of Baker, and the two connect yet again in this one. 1st and 10. Now pressure coming, and he's going to unload and picks for the 4th time is Baker Mayfield, and this could be the 3rd pick six. Oh no! And he's going to go 20, 10, 5, touchdown, ball game. Yikes. 4 interceptions for Baker Mayfield is 4 too many, and that is going to do it for these Saints are going to win, because Baker Mayfield threw to the wrong team. And that just a very, very ugly outcome here. As the pressure was just allowed into Baker's face, he kept throwing through that pressure, and unfortunately those resulted in throws to the wrong team 4 times in this ball game, and 3 of those went the distance for 6. And the defensive scoring has been the absolute calling card for these Saints in this ball game. That's been their claim to fame in this one, and really the difference, because other than those interceptions and Baker Mayfield's play, while pressure has been in his face, the Saints have put together the Panthers have put together a nice effort in this ball game on some of their drives, but not able to overcome 4 interceptions with 3 of them going for 6. Certainly, that is a mountain to climb indeed. 1st and 10 now for Baker Mayfield, trying to get the stank of 4 interceptions off of him, but unfortunately that is unlikely to be remedied in this one. 49-14 is a big scoreline here for the Saints. Dumping it off over the middle for a pickup of 2 to McCaffrey. Now 3rd and 8 here for Baker Mayfield. Back to pass over the middle. He's got a man, and that's Tremble again. That'll go for a 1st down. Yeah, the seeing ghosts things might be contagious. You're right, Chris G. It absolutely could be. Although, I mean, even before he was associated with Carolina in our sim, the real Baker Mayfield has thrown for multiple 3 interception games, and then in this last season, some 4 interception games. So, that's never good, as he is going to throw his 5th interception. Yike! Now Bradley Roby getting in on the action. A 5th interception. This one, fortunately for Baker, if you can call it that, is not going to be a pick 6 at least. But certainly don't want to be thrown to that team in the other colors. Those are not your teammates, even though you used to play with Jarvis Landry on the other side of the ball. Those guys in those colors are not on your team. 1st and 10. Alvin Kamara to carry. He is going to struggle to find anything going there, so he is going to be tackled at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, contagious. Yes, contagious. I love that video. That clip is amazing. Little. Speaking of Jarvis Landry, he is going to be tackled very quickly on little jet sweep action there. 3rd and 10 as Shaq Thompson makes the tackle, and I do love that contagious clip. It's pretty awesome. 3rd and 10. Pressure coming. He's going to set up a screen. Another working screen here for the Saints, and Kamara is going to actually manage to gain some yards. Oh, actually, I guess they're only going to credit him with 1. But still, positive yards on a screen has been the exception to the rule, as very few screens have been successful in Madden for us, as I mentioned earlier. That one's still kind of ugly, though, as Kamara was caught up on a would-be tackler, and only very late to be able to catch the ball. But certainly too little too late, as that is going to bring up a punt here for the Saints. which will go out of bounds at the 13. And so Baker Mayfield will come back out on the field with his 5 interceptions. And, you know, outside of those 5 interceptions, he's actually had a pretty good day. 32 of 39 would be a good stat line. Unfortunately for him, 5 of his completed passes have been to the wrong team. 3 of those have been for, you know, effectively 21 points the other way, which, you know, is disastrous, as Tommy Tremble is going to catch the ball out there near with a 9-yard pickup. Second and 1. Back to pass. Deep ball. What a catch there for DJ Moore. That was pretty. And it was just an absolute strike from Baker Mayfield. We wish we'd have seen a lot more of that earlier in this one. But DJ Moore with a little bit of a mismatch on the linebacker, Davis. And he just goes, actually, well, I don't know why they're crediting Davis with the tackle for that, but okay. It was Roby actually on the coverage there. But DJ Moore with just a beautiful diving catch to make that, or a really high dive. I don't know how you, but a beautiful catch nonetheless. A little sack here. Onyemata in on the sack. 2nd and 23. Oh, so much. Welcome in, Hut, but certainly very excited for 23. I mean, well, cautiously optimistic that they'll, you know, start to fix many of the things that we have been wanting them to fix in this game, which the list is long and distinguished when it comes to that. But always look forward to the next iterations of the game, if for nothing else, for the hope that they will finally fix the graphics for the poor rookie head coach class of 2020 that got absolutely brutalized by Madden for their renditions because they look nothing like the genuine articles in real life. Probably because of COVID, but certainly think there's been plenty of time to rectify that. And yet we are stuck with the worst version. You have one on the sideline here, Matt Rule, one of those coaches, is almost a 6th interception for Baker, trying to go deep, and that will bring up 4th and 30. But Matt Rule, one of the victims of that. Kevin Stefanski, another. We talked about Matt Rule. Kind of looks like a hobgoblin in the game. Nothing like the real Matt Rule, who is certainly not as hideous as the hobgoblin representation of him here in Madden. And then Stefanski, we think looks like a homeless Shia LaBeouf, which again couldn't be further from the reality in terms of what the real Kevin Stefanski looks like. Nothing like that description whatsoever. Yes, I've heard a lot of good things about the franchise mode. We sim in franchise mode, so we're very hopeful that that is in fact the case. That it is better. We're hoping that the realism for our sim is better. Now we do a very, to be fair, we do a very niche aspect of the game. You know, the simming of the game is not, you know, something that is in high demand, if you will. It's just something unique to what we do here at Nagy on Sports that, or not entirely unique. A lot of people sim games, just not with the eye for realism that we like to have here. So we are hopeful that some of the changes will make a positive impact for us for that realism. But certainly excited to see what changes have been made when it does come out. Yes, Phil makes a great point. Some increased quarterback pocket presence would be so big. A fix to the screen game would be beautiful. You know, a little bit more realistic on the blocking from the O-line, especially in the passing game. You know, some. There's a lot of things that would be nice to have some better realism for. That we're hopeful that will be, at least some of those things will be adjusted and or fixed in the new iteration of the game to come out. Yes, Atlanta up 14 for the ticker. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that little stiff arm there from Kamara out to the outside, but he's going to get tackled on the stretch there after only a few. So Chin in on the tackle. 3rd and 7 now. Emptying out the backfield is Jameis Winston. Not sure why you're doing that here with this kind of lead, but he's going to escape out of the pocket and pick up a first down after the slide. To be determined yet, Chris G. Got to get together with Phil and determine his availability. But certainly, you can expect, like Phil mentioned, you can expect that to be posted in the Discord as soon as we know it. We'll give you some advance warning when we plan to go live, so that you won't miss a thing. Just pay attention to the Discord and the announcements there. And if you haven't joined our Discord for those notifications, they're a lot more reliable than YouTube's. And unlike YouTube, you'll get those notifications in advance of a game rather than right when it goes live. And that's only if YouTube happens to bother to notify you, which it sometimes seems to not do until we're well into a sim. I don't know why that is, but Discord is much more reliable in that regard. But if you'd like to join us there, we'd love to have you. We've got a link to that here in the description of this video or any of our other videos. As a quick touchdown strike, just pour salt all over this wound. And Michael Thomas with that reception. And these Saints are just absolutely burying the Carolina Panthers. This one is all over. But look at and this is the scoreline for Atlanta, now up 28-14. So looking very much like we will have 4 10-7 teams coming out of the NFC South. And what a crazy setup that will be going into these playoffs. We'll have to figure out what exactly does that mean. Yes, appreciate that, Chris. That's awesome. But that you'll join us on the Discord. We'd love to have everybody there on the Discord. If only for the notifications, so you can know when we're going to go live. Gives you plenty of opportunity to know when to expect these things. Because when we have that kind of a known quantity, we'll post it as soon as we know when we're going to go live. And that way you'll have some advance warning, so you can be prepared for the video to actually drop on our channel. And then you're not reliant on the less than reliable YouTube notification system. But we also do some other stuff there on our Discord. We have polls for Spotlight Games of the Week. We have some just general NFL and Browns specific discussion there in the chat, where it's just a hangout spot for all of Nagy Nation to get together in between games and talk all things NFL and Browns, and we enjoy everyone spending time there and interacting with you all. So a chance to share your thoughts and for us to interact with you as well. Cool. Rick, if you don't mind, I'll probably add your, just so we know who you are, we'll probably, since you show up as Rick here, we'll just, we'll probably tag you as a parentheses Rick, so that we know who we're talking to. A lot of times, there's a lot of usernames that are out there on the Discord. We're not exactly sure who it is, but if, obviously, our community, we've started to recognize by what your name shows up here on the YouTube. And then when we pair those two, then everybody knows who we're talking to, and kind of the cross the two. You can also, by the way, if you're on the Discord and you want to be sure that your name in that channel shows up as the same name that you have here on the YouTube, so that we know who you are. There's a very easy way to do that. You just click on your username and you can set a nickname for in the channel specifically, so that anytime you show up in the channel, regardless of what your actual Discord handle is, it'll just pop up with your nickname for this designated for the channel, and then you'll always show up with that name in the specific Discord channel for Nagy Sports. But we do very much appreciate everyone that is on our Discord. We really very much enjoy interacting with everyone for Nagy Nation. It's really fun. And of course, the notification system does help us out a lot for getting the information out to you. Now, finally, the 2-minute warning in here. This ugly, ugly game. A little handoff to Kamara. They're clearly in shoe clock mode, as they should be. And hopefully we won't have any needless Panther timeouts. 2nd and 6. I'm understanding they're going to hand off to Alvin Kamara. And the effort to chew the clock continues with 3rd and 2 here. Hey, welcome in, American Hope. And yes, this was an absolute blowout, fueled by 5 interceptions from Baker Mayfield, 3 of those being pick sixes, 2 of them very early in this ball game, and really that was what led to this massive blowout here. So finally, mercifully, this ball game comes to end. There's the hobgoblin Matt Rule that looks nothing like the genuine article. And look at that completion rating, 96.1%, 220 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wow, what a day for Jameis Winston that was. Baker Mayfield cannot say the same. He was 31 of 47, 394 yards, 65% completion rating with 2 touchdowns, but the 5 interceptions, 3 of which were pick sixes, that is the absolute difference in this ballgame. Run CMC, 11 attempts, 49 yards, 4.4 a clip, and 9 yards after contact. Tommy Tremble, the leading receiver for the Panthers, he had 69. McCaffrey with a touchdown on his 43 yards and 6 receptions. Gonna look at everyone else. So leading tackler on the day, Smith with 14, Chin with 12, Thompson with 12, and then Jackson with 6, and Burns with 6. We had 1 sack for Burns and 1 for Ioannidis, and then Brown and Jackson and Smith all with 1 as well. And then no interceptions or fumble recoveries or turnovers of any kind for these Panthers. Jameis Winston, 25 of 26 for 220, 96%, and 2 touchdowns. An incredible day for him with 127.5 rating. So Alvin Kamara, he had 30 attempts, 159 yards, 2 touchdowns for him on the day with 7 broken tackles and 44 yards after contact. Michael Thomas, leading receiver, with 10, then Landry with 4, Kamara with 4, Troutman with 4, and then 10.7 a clip for Michael Thomas with 107 on the day. Demario Davis, the leading tackler for the Saints, 13 for him, 10 for Gardner Johnson, 8 for Lattimore, 6 for Roby, 3 sacks for Onyemata, Davenport with 1, and just those 4, and then 5 total sacks being spread out amongst the defenders here for the Saints. 3 of those were pick 6, and those were Lattimore, Tyrion Matthew, and Gardner Johnson on the pick 6s. So that'll do it here for us on this game, a 56-14 blowout to the Saints, and now all 4 teams in the NFC South are going to end up at 10-7, and we're going to find out potentially here in a moment to find out who makes it and who doesn't. 3 teams out of the NFC South are going to make the playoffs, and one of them is going to be left behind as soon as Phil gets through the menu here to get to the playoff picture. We should know, or at least the standings. We should know how it actually panned out. So there it is. Looks like the Falcons are going to get left behind, and it'll be Buccaneers first in, then Panthers, then Saints. So both of the teams playing here today made it in regardless of the final score here. But the Falcons are going to be the team left out in the cold based on the tiebreakers. So a very interesting division here in the NFC South, as we saw the Falcons keeping it interesting, but the win not enough to get them into the playoffs. And there's a look at the playoff pictures, as it looks like the Browns are going to take on the Jaguars, pending the game against the Patriots, which we plan to bring you here later today. So, but the current picture looks like the Browns are slated to take on the Jaguars, and then we'll see from there. So a very interesting development in the NFC side of the game, as you see the look on the NFC side as well. So thank you for joining us for this. This was a lot of fun. Glad we could bring this to you. We appreciate your support here at Nagy Nation, here at Nagy Sports. You all have been amazing and very supportive. Appreciate the subscriptions, appreciate the likes, and look forward to seeing you yet again in a doubleheader as the Browns are going to take on the Patriots later tonight. Stay tuned to our Discord for a notification of when to expect that. And then we'll see you then, hopefully. So today we will say, go Saints, and as always, go Browns!